Good evening and welcome to the webinar Powerful Spatial Analytics Made Simple. My name is Agnieszka Majka and I work as a technical project manager with gistec. This webinar is designed for the users who have just started working with ArcGIS Insights or have no previous experience with the product. And the webinar will provide to you a good understanding of ArcGIS Insights and its capabilities. So as per the agenda, we will start with ArcGIS introduction, and then we will go through the workflow of data preparation, exploratory analysis through mapping and charting, spatial and statistical analysis, and at the end, we will see the process of sharing the pages and models. So what is ArcGIS Insights? So ArcGIS Insights is where users can perform self-service location analytics. So you will analyze your data and you will use for this analysis also the location component. ArcGIS Insights provides the mapping, traditional analytics, and charting functionality all in one application. So you can use in ArcGIS Insights spatial and no-spatial data for your analysis. And actually, everyone across your organization can start using ArcGIS Insights and see the value of spatial analysis. So ArcGIS Insights provides to its users, but also to those who typically can't access an analytical functionality, the way to perform exploratory, statistical, or spatial analysis, and to see the predictions, as well as to use techniques like link analysis, link graphs, or even extend Insights default functionality through Python and R. To start working in Insights, we need to connect to the data. And we can bring data from three main sources. It can be data from your ArcGIS Enterprise, so ArcGIS Online or ArcGIS Enterprise on premises. You can bring the data from files, so Excel or CSV files, as well as you can analyze your enterprise business data. So this data that you store in relational databases, such as Oracle, SQL Server, SAP HANA, or Postgres. And ArcGIS Insights can be accessed by users as a SaaS, so through ArcGIS Online subscription, or within your enterprise, as well as installed locally on your Windows or Mac systems on your computer. And Insight is designed to make analysis in it and then bring the value of this analysis to others. So if you complete your analysis as a data scientist, maybe data analyst or business analyst, then you can share this information with other coworkers. And this information can be shared first through pages or reports that can be viewed by others. But the analysis you can also share through models. And these models can be used by other analysts to further extend the analytical process or just to learn from the model that was already created. Once we perform analysis in ArcGIS Insights, we also receive the results of this analysis. And these results can also be exported or saved and used in other ArcGIS products. So working with Insights, so we can just go through the entire workflow or just enter specific capabilities and perform, for example, analysis. So if we go through the entire workflow, we will start with data preparation. That may include, for example, adding some additional fields, calculating some values. It may include joining tables, or, for example, enabling your data spatially. This may come when you add flat files like Excel to Insights. Once we prepare the data, and then we can move further to the exploratory analysis. So exploratory analysis will include the review of the data through the maps, charts, or summary tables to see the data itself and to find the questions we would like to answer analyzing this data. So after exploratory analysis, we move to statistical and spatial analysis, where using the tools and functions, we find the answers to our questions. And at the end, we would like to share the results of our analysis with others, and we can do it through the pages, through reports, or through models. And today, we will going to talk about all these details. ArcGIS Insights is designed to be considering analysis first. So first, we will find the answers to our questions, create new information, and then we will present these answers, present this information in the form of pages or dashboards. Here you can see a schema of the Insights. In Insights, we work with a workbook. A workbook will be including one or many pages, so you can compare the workbook to the Excel itself. When you have the Excel file and then different tabs in it, different Excel sheets. So similarly over here. And then when we go down to the page, we will see the cards and widgets that we can add in ArcGIS Insights. And for example, cards will include maps, will include charts on or summary tables. Widgets can just include the information about our logo or some text information that we would like to present in the workbook. And all the data that we will add to the insights for the analysis, you will view in the data pane. So here we can see some examples of the pages that were generated using the results of data analysis in ArcGIS Insights. And we will have the live demo of a few pages itself. So now you should see one of the sample pages. This page is presenting the traffic accidents in Sharjah. This is sample data. This is not real data. So over here, the example of the page will include the widget that will present the title and then different cards that will present the maps and cards. So first of all, we can see the heat map in the center of this card that is presenting the concentration of the accidents. And this map is dynamic, so we can zoom in, zoom out to see this particular location. Now on the right side, we can see a chord diagram, and this diagram will present two types of information and correlation between them. So first, we will have the time of the accident that will be seen on the right side, and on the left side, we will see the accident cause. And here, for example, when we analyze the accident that were in the morning, we can see, for example, that mostly these were caused by speeding. If we go, for example, to the afternoon, we see that for this sample data, not giving priority was the main cause of an accident. And for example, at night, it was unsafe lane change. And this can be analyzed from other side as well. So we can see, all right, so the speeding itself, it was the reason of the accident, mostly in the morning times or evenings. So as you can see, when I change the selections, actually all the remaining cards, so the map and other charts are dynamically updated. So all these charts are interconnected. And for example, when we analyze over here that we have the afternoon accident and the cause was not giving the priority, then we can see also that what was the accident type. So for instance, we could experience the site crash. Once we scroll down the page, we will see other important information. So for example, age class of the people who were involved in such accident. And then we can zoom further and also see, for example, that what is the average number of the accident per day. So, for example, we can see over here that on Sundays we were experiencing the highest number of accidents. And for example, Friday and Saturday, these values were the lowest. But average, we will have around 8. Not only we can see this chart from the bar chart, column chart, but also we can see descriptive statistics about this particular chart and the calculation of the values, for instance, median value for the accident. And here lastly, we can see the example where we have the heat chart that is showing the injury rate based on the accident type. So what we can see that, for example, where unsafe lane change may cause usually minor injuries, then speeding usually it will be moderate or severe. So this is one of the examples how we can analyze the data through ArcGIS Insights. Here I have one more page that I would like to present to you. It is related to the current epidemic and showing the COVID-19 pandemic link map that is explaining how the virus was spreading using the communication through the planes and people, how they were spreading the virus. So here we have the first phase that we see how the spread was across the China and neighboring countries. On the map, you can see the departure of the flights and arrivals. So we can see for the Japan, for the South Korea, or for Thailand. And when we scroll down, we can also see the link analysis displaying the situation that was spread across the entire world and how it was spreading. And for example, once we zoom in to Dubai, we can select the Dubai International Airport and then see how it is linked with other airports that were on this communication line and how the infection was spreading. So here we can see some of the examples. So if we would like to analyze them further, you can just go to ArcGIS Insights product page, and over there in the gallery, you can see all these samples of ArcGIS Insights pages, and all is divided into categories. So the one category you're interested, you can just directly check over here. So we will move on now, and we'll see the first step of the workflow related to data preparation. So here we will concentrate on two parts of data preparation, where we first may need to modify something in the table or create the join between the tables. And second part, when we want to add this spatial reference to our data. So again, to start working with ArcGIS Insights and for the data preparation part, we need to link to the data that can be accessible from the files. It can be on shared network or your local drive. We can add data from our ArcGIS enterprise and add the services from there. We can connect to our business relational databases like Oracle, SQL Server, or SAP HANA. And if we do not see in standards default connectors of ArcGIS Insights, the connector to the data we have, we can verify if we can connect to this data from Python and R. And whatever Python and R can connect, we can also bring this data inside the ArcGIS Insights. Once we add data in ArcGIS Insights, then we will, Insights by default will interpret it. So if we have a field that is providing the information about location, it will be identified as the shape field. And accordingly with other fields. So we will see numeric fields, we will be identifying the categorical fields, ratio, or date and time. And with date and time, by default, by Insights, this field will be break down into subcategories where we can see the year, the month, day of month, or day of the week. Once we add to ArcGIS Insights tabular data, for example, the Excel data, then as a part of data preparation, we will enable the location of this data. And here, most frequently, we will use the coordinates, so X and Y, or latitude and longitude values. However, we can use also addresses, and the address can be stored in one field or multiple fields, as well as we can use geography. So we can have our custom boundaries of emirates or boundaries of communities, and just assign our data to this boundary. If we add the data that are stored in, for example, two separate tables, so we can create the relationship between those tables directly in Insights. To create the relationship, it is the standard process, so just you need to have the key field in both of the tables. And then this key field can be stored in one field or multiple fields, so depends on how the data was created. And in Insights, they are supported all relationship types, so inner join, outer join, left or right join between the tables. So now we will move on to ArcGIS Insights and see a short demo regarding data preparation. So here you can see already open ArcGIS Insight application, and by default in ArcGIS Insights we will work with workbooks. So I have several workbooks created, and now I will just open one of them. First step, once we open the workbook, ArcGIS Insights will display the page to add the data. Now we can add this data from many sources, as was mentioned during the presentation. So it can be the files that are, for example, CSV file, Excel file. We can add data from our relational databases and add to Insights for analysis. We can connect to our ArcGIS Enterprise, ArcGIS Online, or Enterprise on premises, and add specific layers over here. For this demo, I will add data that is stored in the files. I will add two Excel files. So I will select both and add to my page. So now once we add the data directly to ArcGIS Insights, we will see that the application analyze the input data and recognize if this is numeric value or this is a date field and so on. So for example, over here in this first Excel file, I have different attributes, but I don't have information about the location. That information I have stored in the second table. So before I start my analysis, I need to prepare my data and create the relationship between them. So actually, at this moment, I will just join this table and it will be ready for further analysis. So to join the tables, I will click the create relationship and then select both tables and then identify the key field. So the key field for both tables is accident ID. So I will select this field from the list. And I will just apply the default relationship type inner join. So as a result, we can see now that both tables were joined. We have access now to X and Y information, but still this is the flat table. It's not enabled spatially. So to add this location component to it, we will go to dataset options and enable location. I will select the default location type, so calculate based on the coordinates, and then the fields where I have stored the location information. Lastly, I need to select the coordinate system, or I just can type the number of this coordinate system to search it. And run the process. Now, what we can see, this field with location, this shape field has been added. We can always modify the name of this field. For example, car incident location. And now we can add this data directly to the ArcGIS Insights page. So now I will back to the presentation, and we will see how we can now explore our data through the maps, charts, and summary tables. So moving to the exploratory analysis, this is the second part of this webinar. So we can see now how we can review our data through charts, tables, maps, and how they are interconnected with each other. So to analyze the data, to explore the data through charts, we have 17 different charts that we can use. So for example, bar chart, column chart, tree map, bubble chart, or heat chart. And we will use this chart depending like what we would like to present in the particular card. If we want to present the distribution, relationship, or quantity. Our data we can explore also through different maps options. And here we have 10 currently available. So we can just display the location of our data as well as aggregate the data, present the heat maps or binding. So aggregation of the data to the grid. The summary of these charts and maps you will find in the PDF document that is available online. So it explains the visualization options, and depends what actually we would like to communicate. Then we will select the specific category. If you want to communicate some measurements, relationship, interaction, or distribution. In ArcGIS Insights, you have access to two types of tables. So this is the data table, standard table, that you can just use to explore and review the attributes data, as well as summary tables. And this summary tables you can just dynamically create in Insights, and these tables can be also the part of pages that we will create to present the results of our analysis. So now we will have a demo how we can start the data exploration. So over here, I have just one map first added. So this map already includes the location of car accidents, and the way it is presented was changed from the layers options. So what I have selected, this is a heat map. But obviously we can just present the counts or unique symbols for our data. Over here, you have also option to change the base map. So this is the dark gray canvas, but you can change it also to light gray canvas, depend on the card and map look and feel we would like to present. Now we can move on and just see some charts and maps added to this particular page. So we will start with adding a column chart, and this will be based on the day of the week that it will present the accidents. So over here, we have added the one type of charts, but what you can notice is that anytime we can change the type of this chart. So for example, from column chart, we can change to tree map. You can change to bubble chart, or easily you can change to a summary table. So this is this dynamic table that will summarize our data. And over here, we can also filter this data accordingly. For now, I will just select the column chart and I will change the color to light blue. Next, we can see other options for adding charts. We will use tree map type of the chart and accident type. So accident type information we have over here. Then I can bring this information directly to the chart and change the type of the chart very easily. So as you can see, just it is drag and drop the particular values. Another example can be accident time. So again, we select the chart and for example, bubble chart. Now you can add field by field, so one by one, or you can select, for example, two fields. So we can see the correlation between accident cause and accident time. Right, so we can see this chord diagram that we have seen also on the sample page, and everything over here once we go through the cards will be dynamic. So this way we can just explore our data and then see or find the questions that we would like to further answer during spatial analysis or statistical analysis. So moving on to spatial and statistical analysis. Over here, we can use the tools that are by default provided with ArcGIS Insights to, for example, statistically analyze our data, provide descriptive statistics, or create link analysis. Or we can also extend the built-in functionality with the Python or R. So if we have access to the Python libraries, then we can just bring them here and use this Python analytical libraries for analysis directly in ArcGIS Insights. To start a spatial or statistical analysis in ArcGIS Insights, you will first go to the action button. This button will be at the bottom right of each card. And then you can select analysis going through two ways, or selecting the tab Spatial Analysis, where we will find all available spatial analysis tools. Or if you are not sure, which tool to use, so we can go to the section Find Answers, to the tab Find Answers, and here we will see the number of questions. So, for example, how data is distributed, how data is related. And once we select one of these questions, then we will be having direct access to the spatial and statistical analysis tools to use for our data analysis. So for spatial analysis, we have currently available 6 tools like spatial aggregation, create a buffer, find the nearest. As well as for statistical analysis, currently we have the same number of tools. And with statistical analysis, for example, we can create the link maps. So the link map itself, it can be created as a link analysis, can be created as a link map or a link graph. Now, if we consider here as an example the link maps, we can have 2 types of these links. First, it can be spider lines, and this kind of map will show the connectivity between the origin and destination. So, for example, the origin can be some kind of accident, and destination can be, for example, the hospital or maybe the police station. And with spider lines, we will have this connectivity analysis through the straight lines. And the thicker the line, then the stronger is the connectivity between the both origin and destination. And we can also analyze the nodes. So the larger the nodes, also then it will be the gravity towards these nodes will be higher. So for instance, that if we have like hospital, then it will be more operating because of the case. And the second way how we can present the link maps is to show the flow maps. So this kind of maps will be showing the movement of people, movement of goods or transport. And over here also, the thicker the line, then the higher movement. So if we don't see a specific tool that we would like to use or specific kind of analysis that we would like to perform, ArcGIS Insights is integrated with Python and R. So we can just connect and first bring the data, which, for example, is not natively supported by ArcGIS Insights. Second, we can use, for example, Python libraries to perform spatial analysis, as well as bring the Python script directly to ArcGIS Insights model. And also the results that we achieve through analysis directly through the Python libraries, also we can embed directly in ArcGIS Insights. So now let's have an example of spatial analysis, and this will be link analysis. So to perform the link analysis, first I will need or, for example, 2 layers with location information, or what you can notice in Insights, we have 2 location fields, 2 shape fields. So for example, over here in this table that I previously created the join, I have one field that is representing the location. And now to perform the link analysis, I can enable one more location field. So this one is for the car accident. I will enable one more field for the hospital's location. So here we have a second field providing the location. This will be hospital location. And now we can add both of these fields directly to the ArcGIS Insights page, and then see the connectivity analysis directly in ArcGIS Insights. So by default, we will receive the spider lines that will show, first of all, where is the highest gravity, which hospital is the most, let's say, occupied. during, for example, car accidents, as well as we can see based on the thickness, like what are the locations that are having the high connectivity between the hospital and some location for the accident. If we would like to add the direction to our analysis, we just enable direction flow on this chart. So this is an example of one of the analysis. If you would like to, for example, use the particular analysis available in ArcGIS Insights, so you can go directly to the analysis button, and over here you have access to this spatial analysis tools, as well as to the option to find the tool by answering some of the question. So once we answer the question, then we can go and find a particular tool. So it can be classification tool, or for example, a histogram tool. Once we add this tool, we can just select the particular value that we would like to classify. For example, average waiting time in the hospital, and then run our analysis. So then we will have the classification added, and then we can also analyze the location for this waiting time. So the lowest waiting time we can see in this locations directly selected in the map. And the last part of the workflow analysis in ArcGIS Insights is sharing the results through pages and models. And here, again, depends who will be the audience of these results. We can share this information through pages that will be for the view, let's say, only access, or we can provide the models that will be presenting the results and all flow of our analysis. And on the slides, we can see the summary. So once we want to share the results, it can be, again, pages, models, or we can share directly the results of our data. Pages we went through, and for the model. So once we perform analysis in ArcGIS Insights, every step is recorded. It's recorded behind the scenes in the form of a model. And then this model we can repeat, just changing the input data, or we can share with other analysts to use on the data they are having. So to view the results of our analysis, we can go from the view of the page to the view of the model. And over here, we will see all the flows, all the steps that we completed. So first we added two data sets, then we created join, then we enable location on these data sets, and then created different charts through the aggregation of the data, or created the link analysis on to location fields. If we want to share particular page, we can add additionally some widget that will present the text and media, and we can go here and just share it and add it. And next, we can, for the page, select share as. And then we have this types, so share as page, share as model, or share as theme, because for each page we can also create the theme that will be having specific background color that will have specific maybe logo of the company or other links that we would like to use in the page. Currently we will share the particular page. So I select the page and click share. Once the page is created, we will have the URL that we can directly access in our browser. And to access this URL area, we will have to log into our ArcGIS Online or ArcGIS Enterprises if such a page was not shared publicly. And here we can review and interact with the page that was created. All right, so that's all about ArcGIS Insights for now. I will just check if there are any questions from your side. So the question, one question came, if I will share the pages, what the users will be able to edit. So if we share the page will be for view only mode. So they can just access this data to review, to interact with the data, to interact with the analysis, but not for edit. So the questions also, can the card be shared in the PowerPoint? Usually we will share the pages, not the cards. And there is the question relating the SDE. So what I have connected, this was directly the tables itself. So on the views, this should be visible also as a table, so it should be possible and to connect. All right, so thank you very much for your questions, and thank you for attending this webinar.